Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Like listening to a radio show that you purchased on Temu. It's the Audience of One show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you may get your podcasts from. On the show today, we are covering shooting trash into outer space, the psychological success of cheap food, how long you should keep that pair of underwear you have, and a user-submitted story as our quick hit at the end of the show.
Submitted story.
I am Andrew, sitting alongside the guy who's been playing the same video game for 20 years. It's
true.
Dick.
It's true.
I'm showing way too much white right now, Schisler.
What?
You are showing a bit of white right now, I have to admit.
Where?
I was talking about your chubbies from last week. Shorts, that is, everyone.
Okay.
Chubbies shorts.
Ayo, chubby.
Yeah, that's...
Okay, so you were talking about Temu, right? In the intro?
Yes.
So I made an order on Amazon. Mm-hmm. And this was... Usually when I order stuff from Amazon, what I do is like it's just essentials that I don't really want. I always forget if I go to H-E-B or something. So it's like toothpaste, and I always have a reoccurring thing. I save it, and I'm like adding stuff. So it's probably like 9:30. I got home from the studio, and I'm like, oh, I got to purchase that because I'm like almost out of toothpaste, almost out of coffee filters. Like I don't want to go to the store to get those. I need it. So when I purchased it, it goes, hey, you're eligible for next day shipping.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, that's crazy. What's that mean? And I click on it. It's like, we can deliver this at 4 a.m. And I'm going like, I ain't getting up at 4 a.m. opening the gates and stuff like that. Like,
To the palace, right?
yeah. Well, I live in a bunker.
Correct, yeah. A compound is what we call it.
Yeah, we live in a compound. And I'm sitting there going like, that poor fool would like show up and wouldn't know what to do. And I'm like, I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. But then again, I was appreciative to like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah,
you really need
you gotta appreciate the hustle, you know?
Yeah, and I was a little weirded out by it.
So you hadn't brushed your teeth in days is what you're telling me.
No. So I opted for the 8 a.m. option.
Oh, okay, yeah.
'Cause-
How nice of you.
Well, I'm not going to get up at 4 a.m. And,
Yeah, I wouldn't
And I'm
either.
not going to open that gate the night before because anyone can come in.
Sure.
And the neighbors do not like that.
I bet not. I got a scenario to run by you, Dick. See how you would interpret this situation. This happened to me just the other day. When you are in a residential neighborhood
Okay.
and there's a parked car on the side of the road, basically only allowing one car to pass either way because it's obstructing, the roadway.
Yeah.
If that scenario is occurring and you're driving in that neighborhood and another car is coming the opposite direction and you're coming up on that parked car, what do you assume the rules are? If the parked car is on your side, you kind of stop and wait for the oncoming car to pass, right?
Usually.
And then you go around. I mean, I don't remember ever covering this in driver's ed, but that scenario happened,
See,
and
that's a courtesy thing.
it is kind
It's
of a
not-
courtesy.
it's
To me,
not-
it's common sense thing too.
No, that's unfair to say because say that person, common sense would be like whoever gets there first.
Well, yeah, you're kind of getting there in my scenario at the same time.
So that's what I'm saying. That everyone can claim their first.
Because if you have to go around the parked car, you then have to go on the opposite side of the street. So to me, you should always wait. And this happened to me where I came up at about the same time as an oncoming car, and this person just pulled right in front of me, and I had to slam on my brakes, and she kind of threw her arms up, and I'm like, it should be up to you to stop. The car was on your side of the road, not mine. And then I thought, well, I don't know the rules, but it seemed obvious to me.
Well, see, I would call that courtesy. Now, because anyone, like I said, everyone can judge on their own. Like, I was there first, so I should be able to, do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when the stop sign, four-way stop sign.
Sure,
Those
it
are
is.
my favorite.
It is. I mean, if it's obvious that they're there before you, I'll slow down. But we got there at the same time.
So it's funny that you say that because similar scenario with the gate at where I live. Mm-hmm. This young kid decided to use the gate for entry while exiting, and I was pulling in. And usually when you pull in, you don't think anyone's coming through.
Is it a gate that slides
There's two gates.
this way, like left and right, or does it come open and close like a door?
It goes like this.
Ah, okay.
So there's one gate for exiting, one gate for entry.
Okay.
It's obvious, like what's for what. And I was pulling in. I'm like already past the keypad, and this dude was hauling. And then like I was like, is this guy really gonna do what I think he's gonna do? And then, like he came right at me, and he slams on his brakes. And I put on my brakes, so I wasn't going too fast. And I look at him, and he like looked at me like, I was like, "Are you gonna move? Because this is the entrance gate." And the guy kind of had like a brain fart, I guess. He was just like, "Is this guy gonna move?" I was coming through.
So this guy was entering the exit only, huh?
Yeah.
Bet you've heard that a few times in your life.
Entrance only, actually.
Whatever.
He could have just gotten the exit only. But yeah, it was really funny. It was some young kid wearing a beanie, and I was like, ugh, these kids.
Is this the guy delivering your toothpaste?
I hope so. But no, it was just funny because some people are like, immediately if I did that, because I can see someone being lazy, like, I don't want to wait for this gate to open.
Right.
I'll just go to this one.
Sure.
And but he didn't immediately go in reverse. It was probably a good 8 seconds.
He's probably still sitting there right now.
He's probably realized, oh, this guy isn't going to move. He's coming in. I better.
Yeah, I better move out of the way.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
Definitely a first world problem there. You know, I have problems with my gated fence around my compound.
Well, you know,
These dang delivery drivers just can't figure out the process.
that wasn't a delivery guy. It was probably some kid
Just sneaking in,
sneaking out.
sneaking out. Okay.
He was leaving.
He was leaving. Gotcha.
I was going in.
Gotcha.
So I showed my gun. I was like, if you move,
Absolutely
buddy.
brandish a weapon, as you should in those situations. As you should.
I think you should do that for all 4-way stops, too.
Just regardless.
You just pull up with a gun. You pull up and just look around, be like, who's going first?
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, I think that would work out. You ever been in a traffic incident where someone brandished a gun? I've been in a couple. It's pretty wild.
I'm sorry, what?
Well,
no, I haven't.
Like
Dick.
someone cuts you off.
Yeah, we talked about this last week, how you cut student drivers off and welcome them to the real world.
Yeah.
This is how you find yourself in these scenarios.
But yeah, it's happened a couple times, and I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong, man. Why are you showing a gun? Like, what are you gonna do? Stop and shoot me?
God.
That's pretty cool.
I guess that is the difference of someone who grew up kind of rural like I did and you growing up in Houston, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to all our Houston listeners.
I had a weird night where one of my buddies had a really cool house where like the side of the house where you park had like an open garage concept, so we'd all hang out there. So if you're driving by the house, you would see 10 guys.
The portage, as it might be called.
but it's like on the side of the house. It's not like in the front. Like you're not.
So you have a side yard.
So this guy had it's like a side compound because the dad had a workshop and the workshop was giant. He worked
this
on his
isn't
car.
your house.
Yeah, this is we're like 18 or 17 at the time.
Okay.
We're all in high school. And I remember we're all hanging out there. We had basketball. We had like tables for food. And these kids kept driving by shooting paintball guns at us.
Oh, yeah, you told the story. You told the story. Yep.
And that's another time someone brandished a weapon.
That's true. That's a little different. But yeah, and then you chase him down. Of course, the dad thought you were the one.
And he had the gun.
And he had the gun.
He's like, I got a gun.
Guns everywhere.
I like it. I think it's a reality check.
Uh-huh.
Because it teaches us we have to be courteous all the time because you might get shot.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, more guns keeps everybody honest, right?
You think so?
Sure.
I like it. I like that kind of like. My favorite kind of people are the people who holster their weapon outside their belt. Those are my favorite kind of people.
Are they now?
Because that's ballsy.
Yeah, I mean now you can have
open carry.
Open carry.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah,
We had a guy that would be a frequent guest that would do that.
just
He
to
had
let you
this
know what's
giant.
up.
He had a 45 silver. Like he, it's almost like he bought that specific one to have on his belt.
This is my display piece.
So it's just, no, I'm not kidding you. And every time I see him, I'm like, that guy goes to Kroger like that, or that guy goes.
Yeah, when I worked in downtown Fort Worth many years ago, there were a few people that walked around just brandishing weapons.
But and like usually,
good grief.
well, it's so funny to me about that lifestyle because you see officers that do that, like detectives, the way they wear the suits, but they always have the badge right next to the gun or like visible.
Right.
So you see that like, oh, that's an officer. Like downtown here with a court, you see that all the time. But this guy, yeah, I like that. See, I wish I could do that, but I would never trust myself.
I wouldn't trust you either.
I would not trust myself to have a gun on me at any time. Unless,
yeah, you're going to lose a toe.
Unless
That's just or a piece of genital. That's all.
It's more of like the way I was brought up with guns is like every gun's loaded, right? That's
Correct.
How you treat everything.
Sure.
But I'm not mentally trained to say, when is the best time to pull this out?
That is the key.
And I'm like, I wouldn't trust myself.
No, and people who carry tend to know or they should know the best
Well,
times to
I
use
was
that,
always
but-
taught, like, because I grew up in a police family, it's like, if you pull a gun, you're using it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not using it to like, you never use a gun to threaten.
Speaking of, my bug assault gun has been quite entertaining the last
Yeah?
few weeks. Yeah, been going around using that puppy. The assault bill has gone up a little bit, but totally worth it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hey, I've got to ask you something. Are you playing fantasy football this year?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, and this is not going to be a segment about fantasy football because there is nothing more boring than hearing about other people's fantasy football teams. But I did have to go and pick up someone off the free agent list this week due to an injury to one of my starters. And I picked up a player whose name is Colby Parkinson. Now, he plays for the Rams. What is the first thing you think of, Dick, when you hear the last name Parkinson?
Well, not the disease.
No, you think of the disease. That's exactly what you think of. At least that's what I think of. And it got me thinking about people, doctors especially, who name a disease after themselves.
That's gotta be.
Now, look, I know that you're really proud of your life's work, but you're really doing your family and everyone else who may have your last name no favors. You know?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, let's put you in this scenario. You're a doctor and you're studying, I don't know, like anal leakage, and you've discovered the cause of this anal leakage, and it becomes Schistler syndrome, right? And you're thinking, yes, I'm so proud of myself. Meanwhile, your brother's sitting at home going, dude, you've completely screwed my life up now. So they walk in, what's up, Schistler? You guys,
I don't know.
you got to be careful. Just quit naming diseases after
No,
yourself.
I think it just kind of depends. It just depends, because I always love people whose name is ED.
Whose name is
Yeah.
ED? I've never met anyone named ED.
Well, because some people go by that, because their first.
I don't think
their-
so.
their-
I don't think they do,
Their
dude.
initials is ED.
Yeah, but
And
no one goes
so-
by that.
I know a couple EDs.
Are you familiar with ED?
Yeah, that's what I love it, and I'm like, every time I say it, I'm like, I think of
Unless this
people with
person is
ED.
being ironic. I mean, come on.
No, I think it was just like his mom called him ED, and so he just said, "I am ED." Yeah, I'm telling you.
That's a good way to screw your kid up
Yeah.
right from the start. I'm just going to call you ED
Yeah,
at 10,
I like it.
just preparing you for what's coming.
Like, imagine if your initials were AIDS.
Again, this is why you should not, as a doctor, name diseases after yourself. I'm sorry. Just name it something else, just not your last name. You're not doing anybody any bit of favors.
Yeah, I like it. All right.
Hey, man, are book clubs a thing
Oh, yeah.
anymore?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I figured I would ask you, since you're involved in many guilds for,
World of Warcraft.
yes,
I'm in
for
one
video
guild.
games.
We know what guild I'm in? It's called Dirty.
I'm sorry.
It's called Dirty.
The Dirty Guild?
It's called the Dirty Guild.
What are you doing, the
I don't
Dirty
know.
Guild?
When I saw that, I was like, "What's the background to this name? Are we just like dirty
Oh,
people?"
wait, hold on. That is what your World of Warcraft guild is called?
It's called
Dirty? Does it stand for something?
No, it's just that's what I thought, because they did those weird
I'm so
lettering.
confused.
You know how you
Yeah.
can do like Spanish lettering and they have like little accents or whatever. That's how it's spelled. Like every letter has a weird
Okay.
thing, and I think that someone just got creative and.
So it does stand for something, but at this point, no one knows.
No one knows, but I always say like, "Hey, dirties."
Well, I don't know. I just got thinking about book clubs because it seems like I used to hear about them more often. 80s and 90s, ladies would get together for the book club.
They still go on.
But I just wondered if social media has kind of killed that.
No, actually, it probably enhanced it.
You think?
Yeah, because now you have a discussion board, and like you can.
Right, but that's no longer a book. I mean, I'm talking about the physical. Everybody goes
yeah.
to someone's house and they pull up the
Once a
chairs and
month.
sits in a circle
Yeah,
once
but
a month
during the
and
month,
talks
you
about
get on your
the
little
book.
Facebook group. You're like, "Oh, did you read that thing?"
Do you ever think there's people who fake it? They just pretend that they read the book?
I just wouldn't show up that month.
But you only do it for like the
Okay.
social setting. I gotta have this. This is my one night out of the month, but I didn't read the book.
I mean, what would be hilarious is someone. This is another thing I think of. If I have billions of dollars, I'd be like, Andrew,
Billions.
I'll
huh?
give you $100,000 if you join this book club, and you got to be in it for a whole year. But you're not reading any of the
Anything,
books.
but you gotta fake it.
But you got to fake it, and if they catch you, you'll get $10,000, and
Or
it's over.
nothing.
It's over. So
That's really funny, actually.
And-
you're all about making these scenarios where I get wild sums of money if I do things. $1 million if I divorce my wife or something.
You realize if I was a
100,000.
if I was a king back in like the Middle Ages,
just for your own sick
it
entertainment.
would be I would be basically Nero, and it would be hilarious to me. And I'm like, don't talk to him because he might make you do something. But think about it, that'd be really funny. It's like you have to record every meeting.
Yeah, no, that would be actually kind of funny.
And because what's great about it, I get to listen to it, and I'm like, oh yeah, he read Jane Eyre.
I'm going to
or something.
pinpoint the moment I can figure out that he's
and I get
faking
to
it.
pick the book club too.
Oh my God.
So the book club would have to be like a women's book club. So,
I think most of them are.
no, I bet there's some like sci-fi ones or something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's probably true. But I would assume most book clubs.
Yeah.
Although sci-fi book clubs are probably exclusively online. Seems like that's more of an online-only kind of
So
crowd.
that's why I love.
Catch my drift?
You've seen that Impractical Joker show. It's
I mean,
on-
I know of it, yeah.
It's like 24/7 on whatever TV channel it's on. So one thing I love about that show is they are very creative guys, and whoever
Sure.
loses has to do a punishment. And that's where I love like the creative punishment. There's great punishment. For
Sounds like
this
fantasy
guy.
football, speaking of.
It's so funny. So you know what they made this guy do? They got him on as a panelist for like a woman's conference. And so he's at this conference with like maybe 50 people, and he's sitting there and he's like, "Oh, funny guy." He has an earpiece in, right? And he's like, "Oh, funny guys, you're making me. It's all women." Huh. He's like, "Actually, that's not the punishment." And they're like, "Oh, so what's the punishment?" Well, whatever other panelists say, you have to disagree with it 100%. Like
Just take the complete opposite
complete
side.
opposite side,
Awesome.
and it's about women's rights or something like that. So all this stuff is like, oh, women need a right to vote, and he's like, you gotta disagree with it.
Actually, I'm gonna say no on that one. That's a hard pass.
It was so funny, man. I was like, you could see that he was dying. And that's one of those shows that you don't know if it's real or not, but it's enough where the premise is so funny.
Yeah.
Because after like the third objection he had, everyone got like the crowd started getting mad. Like, why are you here? Why are you?
Yeah. Just go home.
Yeah.
It's greatness, man.
I love it,
Greatness.
dude.
All right, buddy, let's go ahead and kick off the show. Did you hear that planet Earth, that's right, our planet Earth, is about to get a mini moon? Temporarily,
You
of
talking
course.
about my butt?
No, that's a full moon, sir.
I thought I was wondering why you're showing so much white. I'm like, am I like exposed?
Those
right
short
now?
chubbies that you wear. No, we have an asteroid that is actually going to bust into Earth's atmosphere and hover for a time period, calling it a mini moon.
That's kind of fun.
It is kind of cool. But it says the Earth will soon have a mini moon, although it will be brief. Scientists wrote about, who cares? The small asteroid was discovered on August 7th by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System.
Oh, good. I want to work there.
That's quite the system. By the way, Last Alert seems kind of dire at this point.
What-
That was our
not
last
even
point
that.
of failure, and it found it, huh?
Is the article talk about if it's visible to the naked eye?
Well, you're blowing the lead here. It will not really be
Dang.
visible to the naked eye. Maybe some parts of the world will be able to see it, but most people will not. It is named Asteroid 2024. How original.
Because imagine being that
Well, PT5 2024.
that one guy that's uninformed of the situation,
Mm-hmm.
kind of looks up, it's like, huh. And then like it's like, well, that's weird, and he goes to sleep, wakes back up, it's still there.
It's still there. But yeah, it will be captured in Earth's gravitational pull between September 29th and November 25th. After that, it will escape Earth's grasp, its orbit, and be pulled
I thought it was
towards the
crashing.
sun before continuing its travels around our solar system. No, but isn't that cool that this thing's going to enter in, get sucked in, circle around the Earth for a little bit, and then get shot out, which I thought was
Well,
pretty
they
neat.
think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, that is the path, or the path they think it's going to take. 56-day orbit. It will travel in a horseshoe-shaped trajectory before leaving Earth's gravity if everything goes according to plan. I don't know if this has ever happened before. I'm sure it has, but I haven't really heard of that before.
Me either. I like it,
Yeah, it is kind of
but
cool.
then again, I don't have a telescope, so
No, it says that most amateur telescopes, due to its extreme low absolute magnitude of 22, I don't know what that means, which is too dim for even backyard binoculars or telescopes. So really, why even tell us about this? Because we're not even going to get to know
I
about it.
don't really know. Why are we even talking about it?
Because we love outer space. Speaking of outer space, have you ever thought about the idea of shooting our trash into outer space?
No.
Because if you're like me, you're kind of mesmerized by trash, solid waste, trash trucks. You just throw something, quote, away, where does it go? I know I always was as a kid.
Well, it's funny. You know what I like to do with trash is I like to blow it up
Or burn it, yeah.
or burn it. Burning is the greatest thing ever.
Just like your fecal matter.
Yes,
Exactly.
everything needs
Set
to
it
be
on
burned.
fire. Correct.
All your problems can be solved with a good fire. and what's funny is I ran out of space in my bowling bag, and so I was like, I guess,
gotta burn it.
well, no, I was like, I gotta choose which ball, and I was thinking to myself, it's like, how do you get rid of a bowling ball? Like, you can't just throw it in the trash. I mean, you can't throw it in the trash can.
Yeah, I think
But it's 15
is
pounds. It's
yeah,
like,
there is a way I think you're supposed to dispose of a bowling ball. I'm not sure I've ever adhered to that principle. It usually does end up in the trash can.
yeah. So what we decided to do with it, and Kurt was so nice to me about this. We're going to take it out to the deer lease. It has holes in it, so we're gonna stuff it with tannerite, and we're gonna set it up at like 400 yards, 500 yards, and we're gonna have a shooting contest. And so you're gonna have this bowling ball at like 400, 500 yards.
What are you going to shoot it with?
I don't know. I don't have a gun. I need to get a gun. But
Well, I'm sure he has an extra one for you, but
yeah.
that
Just-
sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know. Well, because like no one's really good at shooting that far unless you practice all the time.
Yeah, maybe so, but
And the tannerite will let you know if you hit it.
sure. Now, here's the thing, though. You're not really destroying it. You're just putting it into little bits that are then just either A, going to lay there, or you're going to pick up and then put into the trash can
No,
anyways.
they're definitely gonna lay there. It's gonna be a little memorial.
So you might as well just chunk it out. I mean, you're not really doing
No,
anything
we're
different for
shooting
the
it.
environment, but the shooting part is
for
pretty
the
awesome.
environment. Oh, throwing it in a trash can, that's gonna be helping the. It's gonna be in a landfill.
That's what I'm saying. No matter what, it's just going to be laying on the ground,
Yeah.
no matter if it's in the
Can you-
landfill
I
or
wonder
fill or
what
not.
kind of fire you need to burn a bowling ball.
I don't know, but we need to find out.
Yeah.
I bet it's a lot. It probably just gets sticky and gooey.
So, but I like shooting that thing. That'd be fun because it's
Yes.
bright. It's bright orange, so it's pretty obvious that you can see it.
Well, it's been estimated that the United States alone produces 208 million metric tons of garbage per day. And that's really the problem. So if we think about shooting it into outer space, like, oh, look, we got endless amounts of space out there. We just shoot all of our garbage. We don't have to have cleaner water. We don't have to worry about filling up landfills. It'd be great. The problem is
Yeah.
the cost to fire a rocket into outer space is like $10,000 a pound.
Really?
Yeah, so it's not really feasible to do.
Maybe that's Elon Musk's like.
But I'm thinking this is what
secret
we need to
thing.
think of.
I mean, he threw a car up there.
Supposedly there is a Tesla car just floating in outer space right now. But I think we need to develop just a huge trash slingshot, just a massive one. Just it's got to be a lot cheaper, right? Powerful enough to shoot the stuff up high enough it breaks Earth's atmosphere and then eventually floats into outer space.
Or burns.
Whatever, exactly. But wouldn't it be just a crappy thing if you don't really calibrate it correctly and you don't use the right size rubber band for whatever tonnage of trash you have and it gets about, I don't know, 50 feet up in the ground and it just comes back down and sprinkles you with like old Playboys and Coke cans, you
And
know?
it lands on San Antonio. It's trash city.
The dirty city by the river.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dirty.
That'd be my luck. We develop something and it's just not quite calibrated correctly.
No, I mean, I like the idea.
I thought I was a real thinker here, but unfortunately, no. It's
Why don't we drop
probably
it
not
in
one.
a volcano? Like an active volcano. That'd be
Yeah, or
kinda
like a
fun.
salt mine or something.
No, salt mine, that's stupid. It's like the volcano's burning, like the lava. It's just like, yeah, let's watch it.
You're right. My idea was dumb. Your idea is way better.
Yeah, imagine being in
Put trash in a volcano.
Yeah, it burns.
How are you going to get it up there? Just walk up, open the lid, and drop it in like a trash can.
I mean, Discovery Network would make that a TV show. It's like, watch these guys drop it in the volcano.
Oh
But,
my gosh.
I don't know. Trash is trash, whatever.
It says that the United States would need to spend about 5,800 times its daily gross domestic budget just to launch trash into outer space. So, yeah, obviously not a very practical thing to do, but it would be fun. Would be fun.
That, like, imagine being the driver.
What do you do for a living? I drive a trash rocket.
I would love to tell people I'm a trash astronaut.
Yeah.
And people be like, "What? What's that?" I'm like, "Well, I'm smart enough to fly a rocket,
That's right.
but I'm dumb enough to haul trash.
I'm the modern day Renaissance man.
I'm the smartest trash man you'll ever meet."
That's great.
No, they probably wouldn't even
great
have drivers for that. It'd just be automated.
Yeah, probably so. And again, with my slingshot idea, you wouldn't have to worry about that. See, low cost, high effect, low cost. This next headline is, if nothing else, an audience of one headline. A Texas man named Blue Cheese charged with forcing teens into prostitution and branding them in Brooklyn.
So wait. There's a pimp named Blue Cheese.
There is.
I dig it.
Now, it's really a horrible thing what Blue Cheese has been charged with doing, and that's sex trafficking crimes and allegedly forcing teenage girls into prostitution in East New York, and that is a bad thing. However, he also has been charged with forcing them to brand his name on their face, which happens to be Blue Cheese.
Okay, I gotta look at this. Is there a picture of this? Please tell me a picture of this.
I don't know. But his name is Donald Robertson, and he's 29 years of age from Dallas. Appeared in the Brooklyn Supreme Court on September 11th before a justice, blah, 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 blah. But prosecutors allege that Robertson met a 17-year-old and 18-year-old girl on Instagram and convinced them to travel to New York. The three arrived in East New York on August 16th and stayed at the blah, blah, blah hotel. No one cares. And shortly after that, they got their face tattooed with Blue Cheese. It's terrible, man. It says once there, allegedly the girls forced to engage in prostitution, taking money they earned, etc., etc. Yeah, and he reportedly then at that point took them to their tattoo parlor or his nickname. So this is not his legal name, Dick. This is not legally Blue Cheese, but just his nickname.
Oh, man,
now,
fancy
as a pimp,
that.
How do you get the name Blue Cheese as a pimp? I'm not sure I understand that one.
I like it.
I figured that you would.
What would your pimp name be?
Gouda, smoked Gouda.
Smoked Gouda?
Mm-hmm.
Mine would be Dick Cheese.
Of course it would.
We got to keep it in the cheese.
Richard Queso.
No, I like Dick Cheese.
Oh, you do?
And you can quote me on that.
I think we need to move on quickly. Influencer couple Matt and Abby deny leaving their kids alone on a cruise ship while they went out to dinner. I love this story for a lot of different reasons. So apparently there is an online couple named Matt and Abby, and they're influencers. Now, being an online influencer is pretty bad. Look, I'm just going to say you're probably insufferable, but there's nothing worse than the online media social influencing couple. Oh, they're the worst, man. The ones that'll play like tricks on each other.
Oh, dude. Oh, let me. Okay. I want to show you this.
Oh, they're the worst. Well, apparently, they went out on a cruise ship, and of course, like most social influencers do, they posted on Insta about it that they had put their 1- and 2-year-old boys to bed and then FaceTimed the monitors when they went out to eat.
Okay, you're gonna love this. Dude.
Whoops!
You're gonna get freaked out by this.
People started to speculate and believe that they had left their children alone in their rooms. Well, they had. And I don't think it would have been a big deal had you not posted about it.
All right.
Oh, I know this couple.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yes. I know this couple. I know where you're going.
You know this, like, personally?
Not personally, but they've come up in my feed before.
I know. It's really
They're all
bizarre.
over. Yeah. Go ahead, show the onesie, and tell them what you're referring to in terms of social media couples.
So this is Shane Burkaw, I guess you pronounce his name. And
I don't know. This is your story, bro.
And he's disabled, and he's married to this woman.
That he is. So we have someone who looks like he is a quadriplegic, who is with someone who, by all accounts, is an attractive, very attractive, fully able-bodied woman, and they go online making all kinds of videos. I have seen some of their videos. He is a funny guy. He has trouble speaking because his disability affects his ability to speak clearly, too. But, they're a married couple and making online content. Obviously, it is the juxtaposition of him next to her that gets most of the attention. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, when I first saw it, I was like, good for you.
You go, buddy.
I'd be all over that.
I imagine there is a certain amount of people who think she's taking advantage of him, though.
What? I mean, aren't we all kind of taking advantage of people that we know?
Not me, sir.
I'm taking advantage of you every day.
Off air.
Oh, off air, yeah. I'm like,
you mean my broadcasting talent? You're taking advantage of it?
I'm feeding it to you, and at the end, I'll be like, take some dick cheese.
Good God. Why did I show up to do this show today?
But no, when I saw the couple, I was like, oh, this is fake. This is great.
And it might be, but I from what I can tell, they are a real-life couple. Dick, have you heard of the new trend called stealth camping.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that where you just sleep in your car?
This is the craziest thing. But yes, stealth camping is the practice of camping in a remote or urban location without being noticed or detected by others. I think we have run out of things to do. What's the point? To me, isn't that just kind of being homeless, if you think about it? I guess they're not being too stealthy about it, though, are they?
I don't really know. I mean, are you really...
Oh, man. It says, on one hand, it can be referred to as camping in a tent or RV undetected in the wild, remote places. And I'm like, that to me, that just sounds like regular camping. But I think this is people who go into urban settings and try and get away with sleeping somewhere overnight.
Well, I mean, I've heard of people who travel for a living. Like, that's what, like, they don't want to get a hotel.
Yeah, and I think if you're in an RV, the stealth camping is where you're parking overnight in areas that aren't designated for RVs.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's not that big of a deal. But I think it's when you try and get into somewhere that's really salacious is where it gets interesting.
What's creepy about it is, have you looked up, like, on Amazon, like, stealth camping gear?
Yeah, I think there's a whole business and industry
Yeah.
around this.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, man. It says if a location has, quote, no overnight parking signs posted, then it is a clear stealth camping spot.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know.
Love it. All right.
Yep. I guess it's probably a pretty good time to take a break. What do you think, man?
I mean, you're the one that
Yeah,
tells
you're right.
me what to do.
I am the Fuhrer of the run sheet. When we come back, we're going to talk
You say
about
Fuhrer?
Fuhrer of the run sheet. We're going to talk about an update on the Florida Python Hunting Challenge. We have a winner. We'll
All
be
right.
back. Audience One Show.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
Welcome back to Audience of One here with Lone Star Community Radio every Friday at 10 a.m., our new time. Make sure to subscribe to us on our podcasts, Facebook, and YouTube, Lone Star Community Radio. Just look up Audience of One on social medias, blah, 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 blah. And, and one thing that I always like to tell people, and because they ask, like, oh, you have a show? I'm like, yeah, man, you should submit an article. We do our funny stories, so if you ever think of it, you email us at audienceofoneshow@gmail.com. That's the
true.
best way. You can also message on Facebook and stuff. But I don't ever check that stuff because I'm already checking 10,000 other things.
Yep,
So,
best
and-
ways to email us.
Yeah, audienceofoneshow@gmail.com. Because we do have a quick hit at the end of the show,
Yes.
which will feature.
I don't know if it's featuring, but it was brought to my attention
Or featured by a
by a listener. That's correct.
by
Yeah.
a onesie.
By a
we don't have
onesie.
listeners.
That's
We
right,
don't
I'm
have-
sorry.
We don't have listeners. We have onesies.
This is true.
All right, so we're back for part 2.
Yeah, we were talking about outer space earlier and shooting trash and how that's not a good idea. I had something come across my social media feed where it was like a video of an unidentified flying object, otherwise known as a UFO, past an airliner. And they slowed it
That's what
down.
you put in your toilet.
No, that's something altogether. That's very identified.
That's dick cheese.
No.
What is dick cheese? I gotta look at
Yeah, make sure you do it on your phone and not city property. And it did get me thinking as they paused the video, and it was that very stereotypical saucer-looking thing. I take it you found the dick
Well,
cheese.
no, it's also called smegma.
Yes. But it did get me thinking as I saw this.
my
Hold on.
God. I'm looking at pictures.
Is it weird to you that the UFO has not really updated their model of ship in like 80 years? Seems like the pictures that we have from like the 1920s and 30s all the way up to now, they're still the same flying saucer. So are there no like manufacturers in this outer space world that are making different models? Like
I don't know.
they're all the same.
I mean, it is shockingly how similar all the
All of
ships
them.
are, because it could be
All of
a
them.
triangle, it could be, you know,
Look like an F-150 for crying out loud, but
Nah,
no, it's always a little disc, always.
But also
with a
you-
little dome on top.
yeah, and like sometimes it's spinning,
Of course,
and sometimes
but it's
it's
all some
not.
variants of the same thing, and it doesn't matter how old the picture is or how new it is.
Wouldn't
It's
it
the
be
same thing.
hilarious?
Same
that
model,
we
same
do,
year model.
We do have aliens, right? But we only have like one group of alien. They live.
Uh-huh.
They live like next door.
Okay.
So that's just them visiting real quick, and it's just it's the same people.
Are you talking about people that crossed illegally over the border? What are you talking about?
I mean, no.
Okay.
I'm talking about aliens.
Actual aliens.
Yeah, like,
Okay. They live next door to you, do they?
Well, I meant more of on the planets, not like
Oh,
next door
gotcha.
here
Okay.
on Earth. So like that's the only group though. So like right when we meet aliens, I'm like, yeah, we're your neighbors,
Okay.
and they'd be like, well, what, is there anybody else? Nah, it's just us two.
Just us.
And then that's what I love about that is that's when the wars start, because everyone's gonna be like, well, we don't know, you're different.
And then unbeknownst to you, you start dating this woman because that's what you
Oh,
do.
that's the first thing I would do. Is
You procreate. Now you're adding
I
to
would
the problem.
procreate with,
Yes.
I'm like, we can be together, guys. Look at us. And then
You're not helping.
They would make a Lifetime movie about us,
Sure.
and like how I fell in love with a schmurmog.
A schmurgamorog.
A schmurmog.
And then on her side, she's like, how I fell in love with dick cheese.
Dick cheese.
Have you ever had this experience before,
Wouldn't that be
Richard?
great? She's
Oh,
like,
yes,
she's
what?
telling her parents, I love dick cheese.
I had to go get my car inspected because, yes, Montgomery County is one of those counties that still has to have state inspections for their cars, unfortunately. You know, I think it was September 1st when a lot of the states across Texas no longer have to do the state inspection, but of course, we still have to here
In
in
Montgomery
Montgomery
County?
County. Yes. But anyways, I don't know if this scenario has happened to you. I just went in specifically for a state inspection, and they come back offering me a whole slew of services. You know, we can sell you this package of oil changes,
Yeah.
5 of them for the price of 4, and if it's just a low price of $350 today, like, I'm just here for the $25 inspection. Oh, we also noticed while you're in there, it looks like your brakes could use
are
some,
you
some
serious
fluid.
right now?
I'm like, what are you doing? Now, I know that's happened at an oil change, but not for a state inspection.
No, they're always going to. You're in their shop.
Oh, my God.
They look at you like time. It's like, if this guy's going to spend time here, we might as well just rack it up.
And I wanted to say to the dude, what does this have to do with my car passing inspection? Did it pass? Yes. Then leave me the
It's called
heck alone.
it's called
Almost
upsell.
cussed.
Are you really like that? You sound like an awful
Okay.
person in public.
I'm awful in public and in private, to be honest with you.
No, you're not that bad. We hung
Oh,
out.
thanks. Thanks for noticing.
I haven't thrown anything at you.
Not yet. No, the guy offered me like close to $1,000 worth of
No,
services.
I
like, what am I going to do?
No,
I was like, you know
I
what?
agree
Yes,
with
you're
that.
right.
I
You're
agree
right.
with that because what I love about that kind of thing is like it's kind of like the difference between going to like a Mercedes-Benz dealership and then going to like a Kia. It's like you go there and you're like the sticker
Shout out
shock
to Kia.
price or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I've definitely been there where they're like, oh, hey, an oil change. I'm like, oil change, I get it. You might need one.
Sure.
But then when they try to do like in the same sentence, like transmission fluid and this kind of stuff, and I'm like, I don't even know how much that would cost.
Yeah,
And-
before you know it, you're like, how did I even make it over here? The car's about to fall apart.
yeah.
By the way, how are you transitioning in your new car from the old Blue Bomber to your new car? Because now you have a new remote keyless start, a key fob, all this stuff. You didn't have any of that, right?
I didn't have any of that. What's funny about it, I realize I'm just like I'm an old man at heart. I have all these cool features. I don't use any of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I refuse to use it. I turn them off because I'm like, I'm tired of this crap.
And you're paying for them too. That's the thing is,
That's the funny part. I'm like,
I think that's driving the price of a lot of cars these days anyways. They come with so much tech on it, and you might use a fraction of it. I'm like, oh, just make the seats more comfortable. You know, make the steering wheel feel good. That's what I really care about.
well, there's certain
and something that
aspects
doesn't fall apart after
there's
50,000
certain
miles.
aspects to paying extra for like an upgrade for certain things. You might not want all the upgrades,
Mm-hmm.
but like I wanted certain things, and the only way to get those certain things
Right.
is you had to pay the gatekeeper. Like here's an extra $2,000.
Yeah, it's a package. It's not a la
Yeah.
carte.
Which is it's smart. I like it. But then again, it's a car. Who gives a crap? It's all stupid. It's just
No.
money.
You care because you're spending money. Speaking of money, McDonald's is claiming their $5 menu meal is a, quote, psychological success. Now, this is kind of an interesting thing if you think about it. They're admitting publicly that their new $5 menu is doing its job psychologically on people, and readily admitted that the $5 is just an act to get you into the building to spend more money.
It doesn't work on me.
Well, yeah, I know you're
'Cause
not a fan of McDonald's, right? You don't eat at McDonald's?
No, it's not. I won't eat there. It's more of I feel like there's better options, and
Oh,
typically
maybe so. Maybe so.
Well, I've never really met anyone. Their number one fast food place is McDonald's.
No one admits it, but that's like one of the most successful chains out there.
Oh, I know, but I mean,
so
like,
people are eating it.
Well, because we're from the South and we have like Whataburger, and things like that. So it's like most people are like, I'd rather go to Whataburger than to go to McDonald's.
Oh, I would too, without a doubt.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. Like, I
absolutely.
don't really meet a lot of people like, oh, let's go eat at McDonald's.
Yeah, and most people don't say that. What they do is they drive through McDonald's and then eat by themselves in the parking lot. So anyways, they're basically saying that this $5 menu is akin to the Subway's successful $5 footlong campaign, which I don't believe they have anymore. But people like psychologically not only low numbers, but round, even numbers, although 5 is not round or even. I guess it's round. What's a round number? Just a whole number, right? Oh my God. Anyways, it was a huge boom for Subway, and this $5 menu is also a huge boon for McDonald's.
Why are we talking about this? This is nothing. There's articles and not fun. It's not interesting.
Oh, I think it's highly interesting
How?
that they've come out and publicly said, we're completely pulling the wool over your eyes, guys. I think it's an interesting play by
How?
them.
Like you're going to a restaurant, you might order. That's why they ask you if you want appetizers or for dessert. Like you don't go there going for the dessert. I'm like, oh, do you want a dessert? Yeah, actually, that sounds kind of good. Which I don't really get at restaurants these days because they already give you so much food.
Yes.
It's like, be smart, give me small portions. And that way, when you ask for the dessert, I'm like, I still got room.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Then I'm moving on to the next story.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, Don.
When you go to McDonald's, do you just sit there and go like, man, I'm going to order this $5 meal, and then I'm going to get a Big Mac, and then I'm going to
That's what they're hoping, that you upsize your fries and your drinks. They make a little cash there. That's what I'm saying, man. It's all a game.
What is the $5 menu?
Why do you care? This is a dumb story. Moving on.
Well, I thought I was going to go somewhere. I thought I was going to be like, oh, the $5 meal, it actually is losing us money, but
No, I think it's a success for them. That's what I'm saying.
here, I'm going to check out their $5 meal. Oh, it's chicken nuggets. Oh, this is like Wendy's and them have
Yeah,
the same
basically.
thing.
Basically. All right, an update on the Florida Python Challenge that we talked about a few weeks ago, and this was in
McDouble.
the Florida Everglades, where they had a $10,000 first place prize to the person who could bring home the most Burmese python snakes.
Yeah, we talked
well,
about that,
we
yeah.
have a winner.
Yes.
The 10,000 grand prize went to Ronald Kigler, who removed how many Burmese pythons do you think he found for this $10,000 grand prize?
Well, I see the number.
So you cannot play. We'll have
So
to
I
ask somebody
disqualified
else.
myself.
Okay,
Literally,
well,
right when you're saying that, I'm like, I pull it up. I'm like, I want to
Well,
see these snakes.
he removed 20 Burmese pythons, and the second place removed 19. Now, what I find interesting about this is that doesn't sound like very many. I was thinking it was going to be somewhere in the hundreds or something like this, because these are guys that hunt snakes. And if there's such a big problem out there, you would think that guys like that are going to find hundreds of them. What's interesting is 800 people from more than 33 states competed in this, and they only removed a total of 195.
That guy got 20 of them?
And that guy got 20. Second place got 19. I mean, that's a large chunk of the entire total, which tells me there's a lot of dudes out there that didn't get any.
Well, they drank too much beer.
And that's when, yeah, they drank entirely too much beer.
I mean, I think it's funny. I think what's hilarious to me about this is I remember when we were talking about it, you could kill the snakes.
Yes, but you can't use a gun.
You can't use a gun.
That's right. You got to do it with your bare
So
hands.
no wonder it takes so long to catch them.
Well,
and
then
kill
maybe
them.
they should start allowing some weapons in there. Now, I did not know this when we reported this story a couple of weeks ago, but the contest was divided into 3 different categories. Novice, okay, that's interesting. Professional,
Yeah.
I guess there's such a thing as professional. And then the highest, military. Yes, novice, professional, and military categories. I'm not sure what designates someone between being a professional and military, but I guess you do it in camo and some fatigues. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe you're from the military.
Maybe. It says from the professional category, Marcos Rodriguez caught 16 pythons for his prize of $1,500, and Quentin Archie won $1,000 for catching the longest python in this category, which is what I was wondering last time if it was number or size. Would you like to know the longest python in
Yes.
this? Would you like to guess? That's what I really meant.
I would say 8 feet.
Man, you know your snakes. 8 feet 11
Yeah,
inches,
almost
9
Dang.
feet. Yeah.
See, I was wondering how they would judge like how many snakes you caught because I wouldn't do the snakes. I would do the complete length of all the snakes added into
together.
one.
Yeah, something like that.
That would be more fun because you could be like, man, we got 240-foot snakes, man. And then
Unfortunately, you can't eat them. They're not safe for human consumption.
believe that, but-
because of the high levels of mercury.
so what I would love though is like you ever seen those old pictures of hunters and stuff, those creepy looks. So it'd be great. It's like you're turning in your snakes and they hang them up. So
yeah.
imagine, all 120 snakes. I would take a picture of that.
Well, of course.
Like I'd be sitting there with all the snakes behind me.
I mean, that's what this is for. Basically, a photo op and 10 grand.
I like it. You know what's funny? This is something I would probably do next year. If you asked me like, "Hey, let's go to Florida. Let's go to," I'm like, "Cool."
No, you don't like snakes, man.
Well, see, I don't like them. I'm afraid of them, but I gotta get over it.
Well, it does seem as though the numbers are dwindling every year for this competition, so maybe us talking about it will help get some promotion out there
And
for them.
I'll
Because
be-
last year they had over 1,000 competitors, and they removed 209 pythons. So numbers are going down.
But no, I think that'd be fun. I think it'd be a good bro trip.
sure, okay.
We're gonna be in the novice category.
Screw that, man. I'm going military.
What's their names? I'm Dick Cheese.
I'm Smoke Gouda.
It sounds like hunters who live in Florida.
And the winners of the novice category, Dick Cheese and Smoked Gouda.
That guy's name is Dick Cheese.
How long did python you catch there? Well, about 5 1/4 inches. Moving on, are you afraid of the West Nile virus? Do you know what the West Nile virus
Yeah,
is?
it's something that mosquitoes carry.
Yeah, it's
Like
mosquitoes.
only mosquitoes.
As far as I know, it's only mosquitoes. And it is kind of crazy that bugs, like for instance, if I step outside my backyard door, there's probably an 80% chance that I'm getting attacked by something, meaning a mosquito, that could potentially be carrying this deadly disease. It feels like I'm just rolling the dice every time I step out of the back of my house.
Well, that's true about anything in life. You're gonna.
I
you
suppose,
could die-
but just
you could die
walking into
every
my
day.
backyard, I suppose.
Especially when you're brandishing that weapon everywhere you go. It's
That's
like,
true. You can't shoot those mosquitoes with a regular gun. You gotta have a bug
you
assault.
got that salt gun.
That's right.
You carry that in your car.
I do. No, I don't carry it in my car.
Why not?
Because the bugs aren't in my car, they're in my backyard. It says most people infected with West Nile virus don't have any symptoms. So it's entirely possible, Dick, you are carrying West Nile right now and don't even know it. About 1 in 5
I
people
think they
have
said that.
symptoms.
I was told that about chlamydia one time too.
I'm just going to roll my chair back a little bit here. About 1 in 5 people have symptoms like fever, rash, and muscle aches. Rarely, West Nile can cause serious brain and spinal cord inflammation, and that's the stuff I really worry about. But why does West Nile get all the attention? What about East Nile? Well, no one ever talks about East Nile. It's always got to be Poodle West Side,
I
you know?
think that's because that's where the Muslims are
On the east side?
on the east side of the
I was
Nile.
thinking more like skeeters that are like, wearing some baggy pants, maybe some jewelry around their neck. They're like, hey, man, we're east side over here.
or maybe
And the west, I think of west side as
no,
being
maybe
very...
the disease was guys. The guy's name was West Nile.
Oh, maybe. Named after him. See? And now look what he's done to all the people on the West Nile.
I just want to know I'm very proud of myself
Way to
for this
go.
episode because I've been trying so hard to listen to you the entire time.
Now, there's a change.
I'm trying not to get distracted because
I mean, you've only, I don't know, looked at your phone like 4 or 5 times. This,
Well,
hey,
people were
improvement, baby steps.
it had something to do with us both
okay,
later.
you're right. You're right.
and it was
so.
a time crunch.
We could have done it during the break, but no.
No,
that's okay.
it's timed. So you got to get the answer right now. And
All
it
right.
involved both of us, so it would benefit both of us if I would have answered that phone.
Well, there
You
have
just don't like to work together.
There have been over 51,000 symptomatic cases in the United States since it was first brought into this country or identified in this
Man.
country in 1999.
I really like our handles.
Our handles?
I really like Smoke Gouda. That reminds me of like your name would be in a truck CB radio kind of thing. It's like Smoke Gouda. You there? Smoke Gouda.
Come in, 10-4, big buddy.
Yeah.
This is Dick Cheese. Smoke Gouda, come in. Breaker 19.
See, I'm telling you, it'd be great.
Well, there are certain ways to help eliminate or distract mosquitoes, repel mosquitoes, I should say. And scientists have said that mosquitoes are usually unattracted to colors such as red, orange, black, and cyan. What is cyan, by the way?
I think it's purple, or is that a blue?
I'm not sure what cyan is.
I know it's cyanide.
Did I say
it's a blue?
It is a blue. Okay, I'm sorry, I misspoke. They are flying towards
between
colors.
the blue and green visible spectrum.
Ah, okay. They are attracted to colors such as red, orange, black, and cyan.
Looking at
My
it,
apology if I said it
looking at
backwards.
it, it's like a tropical water.
Okay.
Blue.
Okay.
Like not like Galveston water. That would be brown.
Yes. Oh, once a year though, it does turn nice and cyan.
But no, cyan's more of like a tropical.
Okay.
It has
okay.
that bright blue.
Get off my back, bro.
Yeah.
It says that mosquitoes are often ignoring colors like green, purple, blue, and white.
You know that's what we should do.
Like your legs, hike up in them chubbies. The mosquitoes aren't going to bother you. Those
we
little
should put the
white
trash on
ham
like, the
hocks of yours.
tropical islands.
Okay.
Yeah, because we won't make everything look the same. We already have trash beaches, so we should make every beach trash.
I don't see your logic here, sir.
No, it's a joke.
Okay.
Like, don't do that.
You're right. We don't like trash on our beaches, folks. From the audience of one, right here.
Yeah.
We're going out. That's a hill we're willing to die on.
Yeah.
A canned food item got too hot and exploded, injuring 6 at the Kansas State Fair. Now, we talked about Coke cans exploding on Delta flights, or I think it was Delta flights a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
What is going on with canned items all of a sudden? It says investigators say an explosion that injured 6 people at the Kansas State Fair was caused by a canned food item that got too hot when it was stored near a food warmer. Well, I think that's your problem. You put it next to the sterno.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it says the explosion happened Tuesday night at a concession trailer called the Fry Shack. Love it. What? 2 people were hospitalized after the explosion and fire. Wait a minute, fire? What the heck's catching on fire? I guess your Vienna sausages go flying and catch flame over the sterno? What's going on? Why is there fire?
Is this a scene from The Jerk?
The movie The Jerk? Is that in that movie?
Yeah.
I know it's Steve Martin.
These cans are defective. They're exploding cans.
I suppose so.
When he's getting shot at.
I haven't seen that in a while, man.
Like the sniper's trying to shoot him, and he's like working.
It was a funny movie.
He probably was trying to upsell somebody at the oil change place.
Well, if it was me, yeah. Remember, I do brandish weapons going through 4-way stops, especially when I go to
that's what I can see you doing that. The guy's like, oh, we can do this type of brake fluid, and you just go like this casually bring out the handgun and be like, man, that sounds great.
I'm really not into that right now, and just kind of scratch your chin with the mirror. Yeah, just not really into that. Oof. Anyways, so 4 others were reported injuries, but did not seek medical attention. Sounds scary, man. Exploding cans. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of exploding, I know you wanted to talk about the exploding beepers in Lebanon. You sent me this text. You're like, bro, this guy got parts of his... I'll let you fill in the blank there.
No, what I said was I sent you the article.
I can't say it on the radio.
I sent you the article, and you're like, man, I don't really know if this is like an AOO topic, like it's too political, too, whatever. I was like, no, I don't care about the politics. I care about 1,000 dudes almost losing their private parts. Like, that's pretty wild, right?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that stood out to me was obviously the fact that these were beepers that exploded. And I thought, who the heck is still using beepers, right?
Yeah.
Like, this seems like a technology.
A lot of doctors still use beepers.
I think a lot of doctors don't.
I think a lot of doctors do.
I think a lot of them do not.
Well, if you're a doctor, email us at audience01show@gmail.com. But no, because what I love about these kind of articles, because they always try to make them political. It is because it was a political organization. Not political, what do you call it? Like it was basically an organization fighting other organizations, whatever BS. But the way they wrote it, if you read the article I sent you, they were very careful about saying where they were wounded. Because people usually carry pagers in their pockets,
Directly in the penis, sir.
And so I was sitting there going like, why don't they just say in the private part, like they lost their privates?
They did.
Like they did. They would not say it though.
Yeah.
And I was
legs, hips, and penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It is really bad, but I did dig in a little bit deeper and found out why they're still using pagers. At the start of the year, one of the Hezbollah leaders made the proclamation that Israel could track them easily on their cell phones.
Yeah.
And so they needed to get rid of their cell phones. But in order to keep up means of communication, they started buying thousands and thousands of beepers, which, again, I didn't even know they were still manufacturing. But Dick seems to think everybody walking around the hospital with a beeper on.
Actually,
that's why they were carrying them
If I had a kid, that's what I would do as a punishment.
I'm sorry, blow them up?
Yeah.
Blow their chin.
Yeah. No, I meant more of give them a beeper. Like you don't get a cell phone, you get a beeper, and you have to use it.
But the cool thing is, if you turn it upside down, you can type in boobs.
No, that's the first thing I would do.
Of course.
He'd be like, what does it say? And I'm like, oh, look at it. It says boobs.
Well, it says, shut it off, bury it, put it in an iron chest, or lock it up, was the Hezbollah leader in reference to their cell phones back in February. It said the cell phone in your hands and those of your wife and your children. The cell phone is the collaborator with the killer, meaning the Israelis. So that is how they ended up with all of these beepers that then exploded in their pockets.
Pretty wild, right?
It is, and I've seen some of the footage. I don't know if you've seen videos.
No, I kind of.
There's a guy walking through a grocery store, and then it's like, boom, his hip just explodes. And what's interesting, it's in the link in the run sheet. As the fear of the run sheet, I know it's in there. It might be a little.
You think I read this thing?
I don't have to, or you don't have to, because I do for you. And what's really strange about it is there's someone, right there picking out bananas next to him and looks over and is like, oh, God, this guy just exploded again. Like, he barely reacted. Now, there were some people that ran off, but he just kind of, hey, bud, you okay there? Your hip exploded.
Okay, I want to watch this video.
Yeah, it should be the very first one on there. You could probably show it to the onesies. It's not graphic. It might.
Well, it's doing a stupid ad.
Is it?
It's Thursday.
Thursday night football.
Yeah, who's gonna win? Patriots or the Jets, dude?
I'm gonna say Jets. No, Patriots are a little better than I thought they were gonna be, but
because this is being recorded,
I don't
folks.
know. Yeah.
Because tomorrow morning you're gonna hear it. You're already gonna know who wins.
Oh, that's true.
So
whoever wins, that's who I decided to pick, I guess. God, that's the longest commercial ever. All right.
Look at this guy.
I'm already bored of this story.
This guy just woke up. Oh, God dang. Oh, he's grabbing his privates. I told you.
Well, of course.
Oh, I can't rewind it? This whoops. Oh, there we go.
See, there's a few people that run,
Boom.
but then you can see the one guy looking at the bananas there and was like, all right, I guess I'll come up and assist.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, man.
Boom.
Pretty brutal.
Let's put that on replay, dog. Hold on, is there another one?
Yeah, there was a couple different videos, I believe. Or that's just a different camera from the same incident. Dick, I have to ask you a very personal question, and I'm wondering if you are going to reveal this on public community airwaves.
All right, go for
How
it.
often do you change out your underwear?
You mean like from my legs?
From your underwear drawer. Not during the course
I
of the
wear
day.
a new pair every day.
No, sir. I know that is not the case. Do you know the oldest pair? No, I'm talking about not do you change your underwear daily. How long do you keep a pair of underwear?
Oh, until it has holes.
Okay.
And not the good one.
So if that's the case, that could be, we're talking years then, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, me too. I've got some that
You know what's funny? I have a pair right now that the fabric
from the Obama administration, if I have to guess.
Probably. It's faded so much that the cotton is see-through.
Oh my gosh, it's so thin.
It's so thin. I saw that because I could see my fingers through it. And I'm like, what the heck?
Oh my god. Yeah, probably time. Oh no, you're like, nope, not technically a hole yet. Not technically a hole.
Yeah.
And as they get older with more holes, it does make things more convenient. I'm just going to say that.
Do you wear whitey tighties?
No.
You don't?
I'm a boxer brief
See,
guy.
again, that's another thing I would be like, I'll give you $50,000
to wear whitey
if you wear
tighties.
whitey tighties, and you have to wear them.
Do you think you could look at someone and tell what type of underwear they wear?
Yeah, I think so.
I think a whitey tighty guy has a look about him, right?
Well, I think it also depends on what you wear outside of them, because I know that was kind of a thing, for if you wear tight clothing for work, you got to wear a certain type of underwear because you don't want to just your underwear just showing through your pants.
Yeah, to me, a whitey tighty guy seems to be the guy who's got his hair slicked over to the side, maybe a finance bro. Usually got things squared away. Like you look like boxers at best. You look like a boxer's guy at best. In other words, sometimes you just
I don't wear
don't wear anything. Just at best.
Like today, I'm wearing them because I know I'm gonna be bowling and stuff, and I don't want to sweat.
Right, gotta have no restriction for the movement.
Yeah.
Well, a popular TikTok suggests replacing underwear every 6 to 9 months.
Okay, that seems reasonable.
6 to 9 months. We just got through saying we have underwear that are old enough to drive, essentially. And you said that's okay.
That's someone else. I'm not talking about me.
Well,
I'm like, if someone goes, oh, you got to change it, I'm like, well, you can go F yourself.
Well, I think this is aimed a little bit more at females, but
so here's the one that will blow your mind. This is like a, what do you call it, a germ thing. Like, I forgot what I was reading. It was about towels and bath mats and those kind of things.
Okay.
And like how most people do not wash them enough. Mm-hmm. Because technically,
they're just sitting there and fester with moisture.
Yeah, so it's like towels. You're technically supposed to.
growing.
I think it said like after 3 washes, wash
just
your
burn
towel.
it, and you're
wash
like,
your
great.
towel. Oh, I love burns.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, you're saying so after 3 showers, wash it.
wash it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I
Like
don't.
no, they said like max 3 showers, not like the minimum.
Is this from the Towel Manufacturers of America trying to sell more towels?
No.
Because the more you wash them, the quicker they're going to wear out. 3 baths, showers is not very much. Well, it says a doctor weighed in
Same
on
thing
this.
with pillows. You ever looked that up?
Yeah, it's probably like once every 2 years or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
pillows.
one.
Not just sheets. I'm talking about pillows.
Yeah, mine are from the Reagan administration. But doctors
Mine
weighed
are
in on
used.
this.
I got mine used at a yard sale. I was like,
Gross.
I just want to smell them.
Items you should not buy at a garage sale: mattresses, pillows, and underwear. Well, a doctor weighed in on this and said somehow
And tires.
at 6 to 9 months,
Pagers.
your underwear magically becomes some type of infectious catastrophe, and that is simply not the case. So
Where
this
do you-
TikTok video that's gone viral, doctors are saying no, it's not like instantly. It's 6 to 9 months. These things.
Where do you think I got my nickname?
Because your old underwear.
It's my old
But I love
underwear,
this.
Doc.
Dr. Jen Gunter, author of, get a load of this name, and this is one of the reasons why I'm reading this article. Author of The Vagina Bible, The Vulva and the Vagina, Separating the Myth from the Medicine.
Fair enough.
I wonder if you can get that in a hardback. Anyways, it's
I
this
wonder if you
idea.
get it with a protective cover.
Anyways, I do think, encapsulating this story, it is probably more important for women to, for obvious reasons, to replace their underwear a little more often than guys, but typically us guys probably need to replace them every few years. Because
I mean, we all pee on ourselves all the time. Guys do.
I do not, sir.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, you do.
no.
There's always a little leakage after sometimes when you're going.
You are the one who told me if you flick 4 times, it's all good.
Those are your hands.
Oh, okay. I'm getting the stories confused then.
Because you were talking about you didn't want to use the air blower.
Oh, right.
And I'm like, no, you
I
can
just
just
assumed
flick
you
it-
applied that to the.
Well, yeah,
using the
because
restroom,
I
too.
stick my privates on the air blower too. I like to be completely dry. Okay.
Okay. Oh, anyways, she suspects that the idea of replacing underwear might stem from how society views the vaginas as dirty, delicate, or embarrassing.
Maybe that's why my guild's named that.
Dirty?
It's dirty. Yeah, I'll say like, guys, I gotta ask: is the guild named after dirty privates?
It says, as long as your underwear is clean, I typically advise cotton underwear, and it's washed with a detergent that should not be irritating you. Your underwear should be okay. Should be okay. I think I need a little bit more of a guarantee from a doctor. I don't want my doctor going, it's probably okay. I want them to say it's just fine. Trust me, I'm a doctor. I'm an underwear doctor.
All that smegma in my underwear.
They're apparently your underwear are filled full of all kinds of bacteria and
I
dead
wonder what
skin.
my-
Urine, as you're saying. I know
I
you've
wonder
got
what
issues.
mine's filled with right now. Now you
There's
got
no
me-
telling.
now-
There's no telling.
That's all I'm thinking about
This
now.
show has been quite disturbing. Oh my God. All right.
Especially later when we go bowling.
No. Well, it is about that time for the quick hit here at the end of the show, and this was brought to me by a listener. Oh wait, this is not the quick hit at the end of the show. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering that because I was like really excited when you said someone sent into audience1show@gmail.com.
No, I just had one more story to cover before.
No, we gotta go. We gotta go quick hit.
Oh, you want to do a quick hit?
I want to do it. We're already over.
Oh, this kind of goes. Never mind. This story was accompanying
Was
to the
it
last
good?
one. No,
Was it
it
good?
wasn't. Quick hit here at the end of the show. What exactly is corn sweat? Have you heard of the idea
Ooh.
of corn sweat?
That's what I was gonna call it at the bowling alley.
What are you talking about?
Things that happen in my pants.
Corn
I
sweat.
got some corn sweat going, dog.
Corn sweat is a term that is used to describe evapotranspiration, which is a natural process where plants, including corn, move water to the surface. That water then evaporates into the surrounding atmosphere, creating uncomfortably muggy conditions. So places up in the Midwest, think Indiana, corn country, where they don't typically have the same type levels of humidity that we do here in the Houston area, we'll get areas or times of the year where it's really muggy outside because the plants are creating moisture in the air.
Is that why there's
called
dew?
corn sweat. No, that's dew is just dew, like what's in your pants. Anyways,
Is
thought
that
it
what?
was
Is
pretty
that why they
interesting.
call it do the do?
Do the do?
Because they're
buddy.
talking about, hey, people do dicks do.
What?
You said that's what's in my pants. So they want
So
people to.
confused.
You want people to do it?
When you have a heat ridge centered across the Corn Belt region, the corn can actually emit increased levels
cool.
of humidity and the dew point temperatures. I don't
Oh.
even know what that means.
So I
though.
was kind of right.
Close enough. There are more than 127 million acres of agriculture land in the Midwest, and
kinda cool. That's a great
75% is made up of corn and soybean crops.
So when I walk into muggy weather, I'm like, man, this corn sweat's heavy today.
You could say that, but it wouldn't only apply if you were in the Midwest.
So could you technically say that corn sweat is the armpit of the earth? It's the moisture coming back out.
It is. It is kind of like the earth sweating via the plants.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Way to go, Earth.
Yeah, thanks, Earth.
Well, he needs to sweat, or she needs to sweat, or whatever gender the Earth wants to be. I don't care.
Whatever.
It's fluid.
All right, I will save this story that I had about pink tax for next week. And it had
Like Tic Tacs?
no. Now you have to find out. This is my.
There's gonna be another episode next Friday or
If-
new
if
time
we're
at
not-
10 a.m. Fridays.
If we're not canceled after this episode,
Why would we be canceled?
I don't know. Just think about it. Think about all the things we covered today.
I mean, I thought it was pretty fun.
Oh, it was a blast. I loved it.
All right. I mean, now you got me all worried. I didn't say anything bad.
No, it was perfect.
Good.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, it was. I'm glad I got to see you this week. I was gone for 2 weeks. We didn't get to do a show, so I'm glad we got to do it today.
Yeah, I guess.
All right,
I'm kidding,
onesies
I'm
next
kidding with you.
Friday.
Thank you for tuning in. Just before we go, don't forget audienceoneshow@gmail.com for your user-submitted articles. Thank you for Corn Sweat, whoever that was. I love that idea because that term is going to be used by me several times. We're on social media. Look us up, Audience of One Show. And then, subscribe on podcasts. We're everywhere. We're pretty much everywhere. Lone Star Community Radio, special shout out to them. That's, well, technically me, but for hosting and doing the show. And you can always donate to the show and sponsor the show or donate to the station. Visit irlonestar.com/a.
And just so you know, Dick, 1 acre of mature corn can release as much as 3,000 gallons of moisture into the
Corn
air
sweat.
a day.
It's corn sweat. 3,000
Gallons.
gallons of corn sweat.
Corn sweat in just 1 acre.
So that's another thing I would do
Think
to
about
you.
that.
I'd be
Just
like,
think about
hey, I'll give you $5,000 to take a bath in corn sweat.
It's a good thing you don't have a lot of cash because I'd be doing a bunch of crazy things.
I'm like, guys, check this out. He's going to be drinking corn sweat for the next month. What an idiot.
Bye, guys. We'll see y'all next week.